Good evening and welcome to Cinema Nova's third sellout screening of Tommy Wiseau's masterpiece, The Room. It's an awkward film, a very awkward film with an awkward fan base. We've got someone here today who has seen the film a number of times. Simone Turkington is a self-confessed mega fan, from Faith No More to Supergrass, Mr Bungle to Michael J. Fox. Simone has got in with these people and is currently writing a book about her escapades. But today she's going to talk to me about being a room obsessive. Yes, Simone is a room obsessive. In fact, Simone is one of the world's foremost, should we say, experts? Absolutely, on The Room, and she's going to come and talk to us a little bit about it today. So please welcome Simone Turkington.
Yay!
Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me, Jean.
So you're a former Melbourne girl, currently in LA.
Yes.
So, when did you first start hearing about The Room?
This being February, it is actually my 3-year anniversary of being a Room fan. And I don't know how many of you know Tim and Eric, but Tim Heidecker was the one who first showed my husband and I The Room. And upon my first screening, I was like, there's something about this, but we need to own this. I don't know how long until I can watch it again. And then about a month later, we had friends over and my husband put it on. I was like, yeah, I'm not ready yet, not ready yet. And then about 10 minutes in, I sort of stopped what I was doing and I sat down. For the last 45 minutes, I was probably about to wet my pants and I just couldn't bear to pause it and get up and leave. So that's when I knew that I had turned the corner.
It's a slow burn. It's a slow burn, isn't it? I mean, the first time I watched it, I certainly was mystified, to say the least. I mean, I'd been badgered by some people I know, like badgered to see The Room. And I mistakenly watched it by myself for the first time.
Do not watch it alone.
Don't watch it alone. Well, at least,
Not the first time.
at least until you're like some weirdo fan, then you can start watching it alone. But now it's good to do it in a group. You need the support. So were the screenings in LA an instant success, or has the popularity of the film sort of slowly inclined?
Oh, it was very slow to begin with. Like when we first went nearly 3 years ago, there was like maybe about 50 to 80 people there, and then the anniversary screening always brings out like just tons and tons of people, but still would be like, it plays at a 5-plex and it would show in like 2 theatres. And then after a few months, it started to sort of dwindle down. I was like, you know what? I think after 4 years of The Room, I think it's going down. And then November of last year, no, the year before, 2008, that's when there was a 6-page Entertainment Weekly article, and that's when all 5 theatres started selling out, and there was just some crazy lines, and and then it started just spreading across the country and now the world.
And obviously profiling on a show like Tim and Eric.
Yes.
That's how I found out about it initially, and was just like, okay, what is this? I think with a lot of the people on Tim and Eric, I was just like, is this person for real?
Yes, he is.
Yes, he is. The film has been mythologized and popularized by cult audiences who've developed guidelines to watching The Room. So the audience, you guys have got the Room guidelines, and do you think that's kind of part of the appeal, that you can just cut loose in the cinema? I mean, it's like anti-cinema.
It is. I think to me that's very important. There's 2 different styles of viewing. There's this theatre experience, and then there's the home experience. Because there is so much dialogue. If you see it tonight for the first time, your mind will be blown in one way, but it's very important that you get the DVD and because there's so much magical, beautiful, disgusting dialogue that you need to not miss, which you will miss amongst all the shouting.
And lots of shushing as well as shouting.
Shushing and shouting. And Tommy Wiseau, like in the DVD, he says, and I think you should all see it at least twice. But now, in an article I read about 2 weeks ago, now he thinks you need to see it at least 7 times. So that's money you have to spend on theatre tickets, but you should then maybe get it.
Sure. So Tommy Wiseau is kind of a creation of he's an enigma of his own creation. No one really knows who this guy is, where he came from, how he got his money. Do you have any idea. Because Greg Sestero, who plays Mark in the film, doesn't know anything about this guy.
Funny you should say that, because about 2 days ago I was sent a link to an article where Sestero's saying he's from Poland. So
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Because he's saying he's French-born but grew up in New Orleans. That's
Yes,
the theory.
he says that his accent is because of his time in Louisiana. And, of course, why didn't I think of that?
Or maybe time that he spent with the aliens and the
Yes,
robots.
and as for his money, we think there must be some drug money laundering thing going on. I mean, there's just no explanation.
There's no explanation. I mean, one of my favourite, I love the rumours. I think that's part of the room, is just all the little gossip and things about the room. One of my favourites is that Tommy Wiseau made his fortune from imported leather jackets, which seems to make sense, you know, like
Because that's what his skin looks like.
He's like, Sestero called him a reptile part Anne Rice vampire, and I think that is pretty accurate, pretty accurate. So, you know all about being a fan, and you're currently writing a book about it. So,
Yes.
Simone, how many times have you seen The Room? In the cinema. Okay, should we do in the cinema?
I know both answers.
Okay, in the cinema, how many times have you seen The Room?
In the cinema, I've seen The Room 13 times.
That's impressive.
Yes,
13.
and then home screenings with people an additional 15 times, bringing my grand total up to 28.
Wow,
Maybe
28.
I should stop, because that's the number on the clock when Tommy wakes up in
That's
the morning.
right. It's 28 time. It's 28 o'clock. It's time to get up. Let's do a little audience poll, okay? Like, so there's people here who haven't seen the film, and that's cool. And then there's people here who have. Who's seen the film? Obviously, you haven't seen it in the cinema that many times, but say who's seen the film more than 5 times? Oh yeah. Who's seen the film more than 10 times? Oh yeah. You think so? 10 times? Okay, you guys are getting beaten up afterwards. Thank you. Right.
One thing I wanted to add, just with a fun game that a friend of mine, once you get to this level, which I hope a lot of you will, is that it's a game my friend and I like to play called Rooming each other. And what it is once you really get to know the dialogue, you just try and kind of slip it into conversation. And the idea is to just see, and if the other person doesn't identify that you said it, then you roomed them.
It's sort of like The Simpsons, the way it kind of
It
infiltrates
does. It eventually just infiltrates it. Like the other day, I took a step backwards and I tripped on my cat, and I said, "Oh, hi, Brunswick. I didn't know it was you." It's just natural. I wasn't trying to entertain the cat because he hasn't seen The Room. So.
Anyhow, I want to thank you for coming in and talking about The Room and how great it is, but we don't want to hold back because there are people here who haven't seen the film, so
I must remedy that immediately.
get ready, get raucous, and enjoy The Room.